Hello everybody, my name is S-Man, and today I want to share my opinion on a game I think is headed in the right step, and if they continue this path, I think they're going to have something really amazing for the future, and just in general going to be just continuation of greatness. That of course is Final Fantasy 15. So when Final Fantasy 15 was originally announced 10 years ago, it was actually called Final Fantasy 13 Versus. It was going to be a spin-off of the Final Fantasy 13 game, and it was supposed to have like this huge, like this own little world of Final Fantasy 13 itself. But of course, with numerous amount of delays and Final Fantasy 13 not being good, they eventually decided to make it into its own number into the series, Final Fantasy 15. And that was about 5 years ago, I believe, when they decided to do that or something. And ever since then, I've been kind of on this bandwagon to try out Final Fantasy. And I've never played any Final Fantasy before this one. And it's really because of the turn-based style combat stuff that really turned me off. But I've always been interested in the world. But I do think when I was a small child, I did play the original Final Fantasy on Nintendo. But I don't really remember because it was a long time ago. Anyway, so yeah. This game has been in development for basically 10 years, and it finally came out, and I gotta say, it is fantastic. It's not a perfect game by any means at all, but it is a very, very good game. I really, really like it. So, let's start out with the story. So the story is that Prince Noctis is about to go. Actually, let me start at the very beginning. Lucius. This country is protected by this magical crystal, whatever, and it defends itself from demons and this other warring country it's been out war with called the Nilfgaardians. And one day, and the Nilfgaardians are just like this evil empire that's just taking over country after country after country, and they're just huge dicks. So they eventually come to Lucius, saying, "Hey guys, we're taking up all these countries that are basically right next to you, and eventually, we're going to take over you, and we've been fighting this war for years, so why don't we just have a peace treaty and, just call it, right?" And then the king of Lucius, who is the main protagonist's father, is like, "All right, fine," and one of the demands from the Nilfgaardians, the bad guys, is that Prince Noctis, the main character, who is the king's son, must marry Lady Lunafreya, who is a princess of a country that the Nilfgaardians took over years ago, and Noctis and Lunafreya have been friends for years, and they haven't been able to see each other because the Nilfgaardians took over her country, and yeah, that whole thing. So the king's like, "All right, fine," and he basically orders his son and his three friends, Prompto, Ignis, and Gladio, to basically meet up at a certain place to meet Noctis' future wife, Lunafreya, and basically start the wedding. But, oh no, the Nilfgaardians come a little bit early to do the peace treaty, and it turns out to be a trick to basically take the crystal and basically kill the king and then just rule the world and all that stuff. And there's a bunch of and then during their road trip to go to the certain place to meet Lunafreya, they find out that his kingdom is attacked, and they basically go on a start a journey to basically get back revenge and stop the Nilfgaardians, and a bunch of twists and turns happens, and it goes from there. So one thing I do like about it is very good Final Fantasy 15. The story is a good combination of fantasy and sci-fi. And it's just really cool to see because I've always liked, usually when you bring polar opposites together, it's kind of cool, but sometimes it's really bad, but they did it very well in this. There's also a lot of plot holes in the story to the game, but, I mean, it is solved by watching the anime and the movie, which I think is a kind of a cop-out and very annoying, and I hope they fix that in future games, but there's that. You have your four the four main characters that you're with the entire time, your party. They're not like really deep characters, but they all like fall down into like this stereotype ditch, I guess. Prince Noctis, who you play as throughout the entire game, he's the main character, and he's basically like the emo, like dark anime prince, like, "Ugh, I have no feelings. I'm so just edgy and blah, blah. He has this nice arc though, which is really cool. He eventually like stops being a major dick and just becomes closer and bonds more and more with his friends and just grows a heart essentially. This other character, Prompto, who's probably one of my favorite because he's basically he's the comic relief. He's really funny. He makes, oh my god, the worst puns like you could possibly imagine. If I can find it, I would love to put the clip of this, just my favorite pun he made in the game. It was bad, so bad. But yeah, he's the comic relief. He's a funny dude. His favorite activities to take pictures, so he brings his camera along, and after when you rest out at a camp stop, you can save pictures and stuff like that. It's really cool. Ignis is the smart guy of the group. He's basically Noctis's teacher, mentor, more like, and he just basically guides him on his journey somewhat, and just basically make sure he doesn't do anything stupid, essentially. Gladio is also Ignis can like cook and stuff, so I'll talk about that later in the gameplay and stuff. Gladio is basically the muscle, and he is Noctis's sword teacher, whatever, and yeah, he's just the muscle. That's really it. That's pretty much all their character there is. There's not really much time to sit down and like have like get deep like character backgrounders or anything. Again, that's just solved by the anime itself, which is really stupid. But I mean, there actually is one part in the story where you just sit down with Prompto and you just talk to him a little bit, which I thought was kind of nice. But that's really it. Like, it's just really, they just brush that off. Same thing with other like plot twists in the game. They just brush it off like it's nothing. It's kind of annoying, but I don't know. I can't do anything about it. But I hope with this criticism, I hope they fix that in future games itself. I don't like that at all. So the story has like plot holes and character development stuff that's just really annoying. What else? The graphics. Oh my god. The graphics are hands down the best I have ever seen in a game by far. I mean, it's just beautiful. Like the detail and just the world itself, it's just like the colors. Oh, it's just fantastic. It is a very, very, very pretty game. The gameplay. So traditional Final Fantasy games have been turn-based style combat, and they seem to move away from this in Final Fantasy 15, which I really liked, and and what really got me interested in the game itself. So it's more of a real-time it's more not a real-time strategy. Sorry, it's more of an action-based style of combat, like a hack and slash sort of, but not full hack and slash. It's very weird to explain because it's a very unique style of combat. It's not super difficult and it's not super simple, but it is sort of a pain in the ass to learn at first, and it is sort of skill based. So eventually, once you slowly learn how to do the combat correctly, you'll basically be mastering, pull off these awesome tricks and stuff. Basically, what it is you hold down the circle button, which in an Xbox case is B, and you just do like a string of combos and stuff. And to dodge, you have to hold square or X on the Xbox, and you just automatically dodge and stuff. But you also have like this MP bar, which is basically your mana. I believe it's called mana, and it basically allows you to like dodge and like teleport and stuff like that. If you just try to stay there and hold the B button or the attack and the dodge button at the same time, you will automatically fail. That is not how this game works. It is, like I said, it's very complicated to explain because you have to always manage like dodging and teleporting in and out, and your mana and like your friends and just attacking itself. It is very cool. I like it. It is very good. There are some tweaks here and there. It needs to be adjusted for the combat, but by far it's good. But the thing that's really bad about it is the camera. It's not like god awful, but it is annoying at times because sometimes when you're fighting in a dense area, like a forest or a little place with shrubbery and stuff, usually the camera will get stuck inside a tree or like a bush or something. But it only takes like and then you eventually have to like pray to God you're doing well, and just usually like run away quickly or like try to fix the camera. But eventually I assume that they'll fix it in a patch, or if they don't, then the camera's pretty much garbage. So, but I gotta say 9 times out of 10 it's actually the camera's really good. But again, that was still that one out of 10 times is still really annoying for the camera. So that's kind of an issue there. It is an RPG, so you will be dealing with stats and leveling up and like different accessories and stuff like that. So when you level up, it's not like, oh, you're in a fight and then you like keep up and then you like earn up the XP or whatever. To actually store away your XP, your experience points, you have to like go to a camp or whatever, or a hotel or whatever, and basically it's sort of like Dark Souls, where you basically like store it away in a bank, and then after a fight or something, and you earn it all up and all that stuff. So that's kind of cool. And if you camp, you can also cook. Ignis can cook, the smart guy. He gives you like stat boosts and stuff for like certain meals give you certain stat boosts, and depending on what the meal is or whatever, or how high your cooking level is, he can make better stuff. So there's that. It's really cool. You can also fish as Noctis. Cool, whatever. Prompto, like I said earlier, Prompto can take pictures, and once you go to a hotel or campsite, you can save the pictures, and you have up to 150. It's really nice to have. It's really. I'll explain a little bit more about it later. And Gladio, basically, he can pick up some stuff. Depending on like how high your survival level is, basically walking around. He can pick up like health potions and other sort of crap like that. So the world itself, is it's like I said, it's a really good blend of fantasy and sci-fi. It's really cool. It feels very alive, and it's ginormous. It's a very huge place. The missions aren't. There are a lot of fetch quest missions, but that's only at the beginning. But once you continue a little bit more on in the story, you'll get better missions. Like you can go into like dungeons and stuff, and then after you get the dungeons, you can get like these extra secret dungeons you can only unlock after beating the game, and then you can get up to better weapons and all that good stuff. It's really cool. And there's also like there's also this. I guess the after game is like leads up to this one super secret boss that I discovered itself, but you really need to like do the dungeons and like go to the secret dungeons and stuff and level up and stuff to actually beat that stupidly powerful, scary, insane boss. So after you beat the story, that's a thing that if you want to do, you can do that. There are for Back to the World, there are some reoccurring character models like NPCs and stuff. Like you see a bunch of like if you go into a city, you can see a bunch that look the same, or this palette swap or something. That's really annoying to see, but I mean it's not like game breaking or whatever, but it does remove a little bit of the immersion. But I mean it was only like there's only one big city that I saw, but if you go into like different like pit stops and stuff like that, you don't really see that much, but you do but there is a fair amount of reused character models. So speaking of pit stops, to get from place to place, you drive your car, and the car isn't that great because it's on rails most of the time, and it's kind of lame. But I think the reason they did that is just so you can look at the world and just see how pretty it is and stuff like that. So it's not great, but I mean it's also kind of relaxing at the same time because it also gives you that road trip vibe, like I explained earlier, because the premise is basically you're just 4 friends on a road trip, and you're just doing these things with your best friends, and they absolutely nailed that perfectly. It's just really fun, and it's really great just to hang out with just your 4 friends, just crack jokes and stuff like that, and just do all this awesome stuff. I loved it. It really reminded me of just hanging out with my friends and doing stupid stuff and going on adventures and stuff too. But the car, it's really on rails. There's only like a handful of times I actually broken it, so like I can actually somehow crash into stuff, but I mean most of the times it just forced you to stay on this one path and this one rail for the roads. You can go from any road you want, but you can't just like automatically just start drive like GTA style, just drive off a cliff and just go like just driving off like in the mountains or something. You can't do that. But there are some times I have broken it to like I've gone too fast, and like somehow I bump into something and like the whole car like is like trashed somehow. I can't explain why, but it's very disappointing and very weird that the car is just only on rails and stuff. But you can have it auto nav and stuff like quick travel, fast travel to different places you've already been to and stuff. So that's cool. What else? Oh, in the car. Back to the car. You can listen to music in the car. It's all Final Fantasy music. A lot of it's not great because I've never played I've never played any other Final Fantasy game. But I mean, they're all songs from the Final Fantasy games. There are a bunch of songs that I jam out to that I really like, but most of them is just like nostalgic and stuff like that, and like a good nod to the fans of the series. What else is there? Sorry, I'm just I'm just trying to look at my notes right now. Oh, there's also a bunch of invisible walls that are kind of annoying, like especially when you're there's like knee-high walls you can't jump over, or you can't just jump over a railing to get to a mission you want to get to. That's just down over there. That's pretty obnoxious. You can't jump on your car or anything. What else? Oh, the music, when you're like fighting and just throughout the story and stuff is fantastic. My God, like it's very orchestrated, and when you're fighting a big boss, it just goes like this awesome, like oh he hey type music. It's really good. It's just fantastic. It's just the music is just brilliant. I love it. Yeah, the combat's really good. I said that already. Yeah, just I want to go back to the part where, like, the road trip stuff. They really did nail the feeling of just hang out with your buddies. Like, they do crack jokes. There's sometimes you go on missions with them, particularly, like, you know, Prompto, you might, hey, take a picture of this giant scary monster with me. Ignis, like, he says, hey, cook with me in the morning. Gladio wants to go fishing with you. It's really nice. It's, like, a really chill experience. What else is there? What's really cool is that you could just jump into this Final Fantasy 15 without playing any other game, because like what I've been told, each Final Fantasy is its own game. Like you don't need to know any, you don't need to play all the 30 plus years of games just to play this one. You can just jump into it and it's really nice. And what's really even better, this is a really good jumping point for new fans in the series like myself, because even at the beginning of the game when you first load it up, this is a Final Fantasy for fans and newcomers. Because, like I said, there's a lot of nods and just like references to old stuff in the old games, and like the new combat style is amazing. It's very, very modern. It's very good. It's a really perfect sequel for. It's not a perfect game. It's a really good sequel for people for both Final Fantasy fans and newcomers. Because like I think what most game developers are trying to do now is trying to get new people to come into their games, even though like they haven't played the old ones, and maybe you'll try to like get them to play the old ones as well. But I mean, this does it really well. Like I said, it gives good nods to the series and just gives you, for newcomers, just like get into it and stuff. It's really great. What else is there? So yeah, that's pretty much everything I have on my notes that I can talk about. Oh yeah, some of the missions, like I said, they're kind of fetch quests, but like later on you can get good stuff. I forgot about to say like there's cool monster hunting type stuff you can get. You can do, like it gets you money and stuff like that, and you get XP to level up to get to that super scary boss at the end that I don't want to spoil, and I don't want to spoil the rest of the game too. But yeah, so there's that. The dungeons. What else is there? You can get you can get costumes in this game, but there's not a lot. There's essentially 3. It's basically your default outfit, the default outfit without a jacket, a casual outfit without the casual outfit without the jacket, and then the end game outfit, and then the end game outfit without a jacket, and that's for all 4 characters. It's pretty lame. But all in all, I really like this. Oh, also the voice acting is kind of spotty. There's just times it's really good and there's times it's really bad. Like there's this one time NPC said "get her done," which really pissed me off. It was just really annoying. I understood he was a farmer or anything, but I mean, it's Final Fantasy. You should just know. There's also a part where Gladio and Noct are having like this argument or whatever. Somewhere near the beginning of the game where you're about to fight a boss, and he's basically saying, "Oh man, are you man enough to be a king?" Blah blah blah, all this stuff. And it was kind of off for some reason. But later on, they had the same exact argument essentially, but they did it way better on a train. Yeah, so it's good. It's hit and miss for this voice acting. So, but I really do like it because like the voices kind of like match the just the are just the type of person they are, except for Gladio, which is always just like always angry, which really annoys me. Yeah, really, all in all, besides the list of negative things, it really like outweighs the pros. Really outweigh the cons in this. I mean, like the combat's great. The story I find really fun. Like the setting is really amazing. Like the sci-fi mixed with the fantasy is awesome. Oh yeah, I forgot the combat. You can also use magic. It's not like it's not really much like the other Final Fantasy game. It's basically like a super move you can just throw out and stuff. So basically, you just throw out a fireball, a giant, really strong fireball, really strong lightning storm, or really strong ice storm. They're effective in certain situations. So yeah. Also, I forgot to mention that each character has their own like special moves and stuff. Like Ignis can eventually you can upgrade him to a point where you get this move where you can analyze like the enemy's weakness, and basically like it'll show up on the screen like, oh, he's weak to swords and fire or whatever, or another enemy could be weak to like knives and ice and stuff. So that's cool. Prompto is usually the guy that hangs on the back. Oh yeah, I forgot. You can also link together moves while you're fighting, depending on where your character, where the characters are on the screen. So like, if you and Prompto are standing next to each other and you attack one guy that's in front of you, you can do like a link move where like you slam a sword into a dude's chest or whatever, and you just like shoot the robot in the head. It's really cool. Same thing with monsters and stuff. You can just fight. I actually really preferred fighting the robots and the Nilfgaardians because I just felt like it was. I don't know, I just felt cooler, felt Star Wars-y sort of. To me, I really like that instead of just fighting all the monsters, because a lot of the times you are fighting monsters. Again, I wasn't a big fan of that, but I mean, it's still really fun to fight, especially when there's like a ton of enemies around you. It's really fun. But again, with the camera and you're in a tight space, it's kind of obnoxious, so it's a win-win. But again, like I keep saying, the pros completely outweigh the cons. It is a very great game. It is a very fun game. I've been playing for over almost 70 plus hours of this game, and I'm still not done. I think this game might be like maybe 100, maybe even more hours of gameplay, especially if you're like me, if you want to get like all the missions done and stuff. But it's really fun. It's really good. There are problems with it, but I mean, again, once you're into the game itself and doing all the good stuff like the missions and the gameplay and everything, you'll just completely like, they'll still be there, but you'll just be more focused on the game itself and like all the good stuff about it. So, I mean, I highly recommend it. I don't think it is. If you still like the cons still outweigh the pros for you, I guess wait until it's a sale, but still buy this game. It is such a great game. It's so fun. It is so good. There's even gonna be some free DLC. There's gonna be some free DLC coming out soon, and I don't know when, but supposedly it's supposed to be co-op. I don't know how that's gonna work, but it sounds awesome. But I don't understand why they couldn't just throw out co-op for free and just make it available at the beginning. But whatever. It's another problem with the game, but again, the cons are literally nothing compared. They're like little microscopic little dust things compared to like the pros of the game. It's so good. It's so fun. There's this really cool moment when you're fighting action scene when you're on like this train or whatever. I wish there was more stuff like that, but I mean, it's just not. But again, the game is so fun. I love every second of it. It's great. I highly recommend it. If you want to, just wait for a sale if you want, whatever. But just buy this game. You need to own this game. I want the world to share this amazing experience I had. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope it was informative. I hope it made a decision for you. And sorry for me rambling on for about 25 minutes. Yeah, check out my other videos. Like this video if you liked it. You can give me a comment down below for a suggestion. Give me a suggestion in the comments. Share it so people can see this, and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Thank you, and have a great day.
That's game. Knocked.
Score! It's all about that treasure. Hell yeah!
I even amaze myself sometimes.
Impressive. Your ego is what amazes me. Frankly, I'm just amazed we actually made it.